And in the cave there, they would gather together. Now, I don't say that it was the church, the occupants of the church that gathered there, but whether they knew it or not, the Hellfire Club would hold their meetings once a month underneath the church. And Benjamin Franklin would go and visit that at the times when he came to visit England, yeah.
Benjamin Franklin controlled the press. He controlled the delusional image we see of him today. And we are taught he was a great inventor, giving out these ideals for free. But the truth is, he was given these things to give to the people to not only create their controlling military force for the world, but also to put the people back in the same technological status that they were at the exact same time a little under 6,500 years ago.
Franklin's scientific experiments made him famous in America and a celebrated hero across Europe.
The man who discovered electricity.
The Baghdad Battery.
Well, basically this is made out of a clay pot, clay just found naturally in that region in southern Iraq, and then they would use a small copper lining and something along the lines of an asphalt stopper wrapped around an iron rod, and these all applied together and the combination of some weak acetic acid, and then by turning on the voltmeter and applying this to each side, we should be able to generate a charge. And there it goes, into the positive.
He even developed words associated with electricity like positive and negative, and words like battery and charges.
So, at an underground crypt at Dendera, we find reliefs of such light bulbs.
And George Washington, he became the first presidential trader when in 1791 he passed the laws needed to establish the first central bank of the United States of America with a 20-year charter to the country our forefathers fought to free us from. That same year, Pierre Charles L'Enfant was instructed to design the ground layout of Washington, D.C. It was designed as a giant inverted pentagram. Not only the symbol of the goat, but the symbol of Athena, the daughter of Zeus. And under the pentagram was placed their symbol, the cross.
Like the pyramids of Egypt, the entire city was built in alignment with the stars, and suggests that the hidden purpose for the Masonic rituals is that America might be empowered by the gods of the ancient world.
The zodiac is on the periphery.
Washington has over 50 zodiacs, circles containing the 12 astrological signs. You can find them in public buildings like the Federal Reserve, the Library of Congress, even the U.S. Capitol, like this one, on the memorial to President James Garfield on the south side of the Capitol. And this one, across from the National Gallery. It's dedicated to its benefactor, Andrew Mellon.
Mellon, of course, was a Mason, and it was designed by some brother Masons and placed here at the behest of brother Masons. So it's very much a Masonic thing.
And one astrological sign in particular, Virgo, the Virgin.
Number 13 has no significance to Masons.
Step away from the window. Go back to sleep.
It is suggested that the Egyptian imagery used on the Great Seal was part of this common visual code. They point out the repetition of the symbolic number 13. There are 13 leaves on the olive branch in the right claw, 13 arrows in the left claw, 13 stars above the eagle's head, and 13 bars and stripes on the shield.
To all secret societies, the number 13 is enormously important symbolically. The number 13 symbolizes rebirth, regeneration, and when you're birthing something, when you're bringing something into formation, it's never easy. So the number 13 can symbolize not just rebirth and regeneration, but death.
In 1811, the charter for the First Central Bank ran out. Nathan Mayer Rothschild stated, either the application for renewal of the charter is granted, or the United States will find itself involved in a most disastrous war. the renewal was not accepted by the allotted time, Britain began supplying guns to the Indians, and both Britain and France began stealing American ships. After more than 3 years of fighting and in desperate need of supplies, the renewal was accepted.
To those who can hear it, the sound means death. America is on the brink of annihilation. An invading army is at the doorstep of one of the country's largest cities. Its capital has been ravaged, its defenses shattered. Only one thing stands between the enemy force and the nation's destruction: the will of 15,000 men and women determined to defeat America's first invasion. The War of 1812 was a strange and at times an illogical affair. Its reasoning was muddled, its execution mismanaged. It was named for 1 year, but took nearly 3 to fight. Its main cause was no longer a factor before the first shot was fired, and its most famous battle was fought after the peace treaty was signed.
Again, there was nothing strange about this war. They push on their television programs and in their schools that America is a strong, independent nation, because that's what they need you to believe. They need you and your ancestors to think that your forefathers were the greatest force on earth, so that you could later be used as their controlling military force. In 1811, the same congressman who had refused to renew the charter of the First Central Bank accepted the Second Central Bank after realizing that every branch of the United States was secretly being controlled by forces beyond their comprehension. If you were ever taught one bit of truth about this war, it should have been that they simply just gave up.
American Masonry today owes its allegiance to the very country it rebelled against. Modern Masons trace their official beginning to the United Grand Lodge of England, founded in 1717.
The official start of modern Masonry is in 1717 in the Apple Tree Tavern in London, where the first Grand Lodge of England was convened. And that's called the Mother Lodge, because essentially all English-speaking lodges precipitate out of that. And for example, all American lodges, all the different Grand Lodges of the different states, all ultimately owe their allegiance and their warrant to the Grand Lodge of England.
Because of its secrecy, and because its members are bound by terrible blood oaths, Masons are reluctant to come forward with testimony.
It's a secret society. It has always been a secret society. And to reveal anything about these secret societies ensures your death. And people who've tried to expose Masonry, even to this very day, risk their lives in doing it.
Yet from the shadows, some light appears.
When you actually go into Masonry in the first 3 degrees, why, you promise that if you are ever reveal any of the secrets of Masonry in the first degree, why you'll have your tongue cut out, and you'll have you'll be buried in the sands of the sea up to the level of your neck at the level of low tide. And at the second degree, I believe they cut out your heart, and the third degree they're going to cut out your entrails and burn them.
In the 19th century, a man named Captain William Morgan was murdered by a group of Masons who were bound by such blood oaths.
William Morgan was a guy up in Batavia, New York in 1826. He was the first American to publish the first 3 degrees of Freemasonry, of the Blue Lodge. The things you had to say, the oaths you had to take. And later on, the perpetrators made deathbed confessions of it all, so it was all very well known.
Of these deathbed confessions, at least one has survived, given by a man named Henry L. Valance, whose insight into Morgan's final moments provides a heart-wrenching account.
Your decision and decided your fate. Are you ready to pay for your betrayal? Talk to me, man.
I've done what was right.
And how Morgan had pleaded for his life on behalf of his wife and children.